across the street from IT World Canada during a tour of Telus' testing lab in Scarborough, the company announced the launch of a new dual cell upgrade to its HSPA network. Eros Padoro, Executive Vice President of Technology Strategy at Telus, also showed up the company's testing room where they test upcoming handsets.
We started down this path of deploying a next generation HSPA network in really the 2008 timeframe. And we lit up the first network in November of 2009. That's an HSPA Plus network. It's at 21 megabits per second. Today, we announced that we actually have developed that network into the next generation of that network, which is something we call dual cell. So in essence, what we're doing is we're taking the single channel of HSPA that we deployed and we're concatenating together a second channel. Now what that will do is would allow us to double those speeds. So with the right modem that connected to that laptop or whatever you're using, we can go to speeds that used to be an average user would be somewhere 5 to 7, that now we can get up to 10, 12 megabits, 14 megabits per second average user speed, which is incredibly fast speeds for a consumer, which allows us to do all kinds of things with that speed. At the same time we were doing that, the ITU, which is the International Telecommunication Union, they've reviewed their definition of 4G. And their definition of 4G was something that frankly wasn't achievable on any network until we got to LTE Advanced, their current definition or their previous definition of LTE. And LTE Advanced would be a network that we wouldn't be able to really deploy probably around the 2015 timeframe. But they went back and they looked at the state of the networks that have been deployed right now. And they discovered that, hey, if we used to call a 3G network something that was 200 kilobits per second, certainly when we're talking about networks that you can get a speed of 5 megabits per second out of it, and now as we add dual cell, even get up to plus 10 megabits per second, surely those networks should be considered to be 4G or 4G-like.
So they sort of lowered the barrier.
Well, they lowered the barrier. And what they really did is they started taking a look at not technology per se, but they started taking a look at what's the end user capability or the ability the end user has to do things. And as a result of that, they said that the HSPA evolution, which is HSPA Plus, or what we call 3G Plus, and HSPA Dual Cell, those are actually 4G technologies. Speed is it's interesting on the internet, everybody talks about speed. And they talk about, I can get things downloaded faster. But really what ends up happening is not so much that you can do things faster. Speed gives you the other thing, which is, yes, I can download quicker, but I can also download in half the time, right? Which is valuable to small business. But more importantly than that, speed has another thing that people really don't talk about, and that's the ability to actually support more users. So as you add more speed, you actually get to support more users in a network. And more users in a network means that you as an individual are less likely to be congested. And we think that our network speeds also will help us evolve things like healthcare. So if you start thinking about patient records, and you as a clinician or you as a doctor having to transport files that may be things like digital X-rays, when you have broader networks and broader speeds, we can actually push that capability further and further out into areas that today perhaps can't get that capability because they're sitting outside of a big city. So those things also come with speed. So yes, of course. So the first device that will be available within a month, call it 30 days, will be the internet stick. The same kind of internet keys that we've had available in the past, except this one will be supporting dual carrier, as well as be able to go back to single carrier for areas where that's not developed. So that'll be coming very shortly. We'll also start to put out some smartphones that are able to take advantage of higher and higher speeds, the speeds that are described by the ITU as 4G. And those will be coming. There'll be one of those that will be released very shortly. And of course, as time goes by, more and more devices that are capable of those speeds will be introduced.